Warzone has two main skills, aim and movement. But what if I told you there's a third skill, and it's the main thing holding you back?
Only 5 remain.
See, the more I coach, the more I keep seeing the same problem. People can't see or hear, and while some of it might be bad hardware, I think most of it is a learned skill. Because even when one of my students played on my setup, it was still a problem. Dog. But after I showed him what to look out for, it changed everything.
He's right on my...
Drones taking enemy fire. They're trying to...
See, you heard that, bro.
Heard the sand.
That third skill is information, and it is the foundation for every single decision I make in Warzone. And I'm gonna break down exactly what I mean. It's time to get good. All right, so when we're talking about information as a skill, there are really two main ways to learn it. The first is just awareness. I think a lot of people, they don't have bad hearing or bad eyes. They're just not aware of what they need to be hearing or looking out for. That's what I'm gonna help you with a lot in this video. The second thing is just practice. In both Bot to Pro 2 and 3, I spent dedicated time in a private match actually teaching and helping my students to learn audio cues. These are like concrete footsteps, vaulting, grass footsteps. You need to start learning these things and actually practicing them if you want to hear. The end of this year is packed with new game releases. Battlefield, Call of Duty, Borderlands, Ark Raiders. All of these new games might mean you need new hardware, especially Battlefield because it won't run on last-gen consoles. That's where Skytech Gaming comes in. Today's video sponsor. They make upgrading to a new PC stupid easy. They have gaming PCs for all budgets that are pre-built in the US and powered by Windows 11. If you want something custom, they do that too. Their easy custom builder makes it just a few clicks to build. With PC financing, fast build times, and lifetime support, you can get a PC fast with the peace of mind that you need. Save 50 bucks on skytechgaming.com using code ZEN. But let's get back to the video. But we're talking about vision right away in the beginning of this game. As I'm landing in here, we got some vision stuff. All right, so we have a skin that's a little bit of a sweatier skin. Sometimes, you know, I'm not saying that we know for sure this guy's a sweat, but whenever I see these players, I've learned over time that they try a little harder. They sweat a little harder. Another thing I'm noticing is this guy was landing with me. He sees me land on the platform. He's like, all right, I'm going to bail, right? He landed here and then just immediately bailed and went left, okay? So I just want to point that out because that's a piece of information that I use for this gunfight. One thing I want you to notice throughout this video, I want you to pay attention. I've watched this back 2 or 3 times. There's only about 2 or 3 gunfights where I don't know exactly where a person is. That is how much I am always playing confidently with my information. I always know where people are. I think that's one of the biggest differences between a good player or even a bad player and a great player, is I just always know where someone is, okay? And that's not hacks, it's just audio and visual, which I'm gonna help you with. So we see that guy land right on the road. Why? What do we need to be thinking about, right? Let's look up at the minimap. This guy lands on the road. What do we need to be thinking about? He knows I'm here. I know he's there. He's on the road. What is he most likely to do? Like in a worst case scenario, he's going to push down. He's going to grab a gun from some of the boxes that are on the road, and he's going to try to third party me or just play aggressive on me because he knows I'm on low ground. He knows where I'm at. If he gets aggressive, that's my worst case scenario, right? And so that's the thing that I'm thinking about the whole time I'm doing this. I'm listening for audio cues. This isn't just me hearing this guy. It's me having the awareness that like, hey, this guy's here. I need to make sure I'm listening for this, right? Even the way I play this window, I put myself in between the window rather than in the window while I'm looting. The whole time I'm doing this, I'm listening. There's something I want to point out. I go dead silent here. I put myself near the door and I just go completely dead silent. The reason I'm doing that is so I'm not giving myself any audio cues that are going to clog up my ears so I can hear them. I highly recommend you watch this video with headphones. If you guys want, I have my IEMs. They'll be listed in the description under the gear link. I have played this game so much that I pick up on audio cues that a lot of people don't, and that's just because I've practiced and I hear and I know what a footstep sounds like compared to just the ambient sounds of the game. This is something you can learn. You're not doomed. You're not deaf. You can learn this stuff, okay? So I want you to listen. You might not hear it, but in the left, we're going to hear concrete footsteps. Another thing is like, I land here all the time, right? I land here every single game. This is where I land. I know that if someone lands above me or they know that I'm here, A lot of times they'll push down and they'll play these two concrete pillars that are on the left and on the right. And so in my mind, that's what I'm thinking is most likely to happen here. This is another reason why landing in the same spot is so beneficial. I want you to listen. I'm going to shut up. We hear concrete, you know, moving around. And so rather than just running out and full challenging a guy that I don't know exactly where he is, I want to confirm. I heard audibly that there was a guy over to my left somewhere. Now I'm confirming visually that there's a guy over to my left somewhere. Do I want to take a gunfight from here? Do I want to take this gunfight? No, I don't want to take this gunfight because I can only see a little bit of his body. I have a ground loot gun. Even though it's a good ground loot gun, I can only see a little bit of his body, and if I stand here, he's going to see all of my body. And so what should I do? I'm going to hit a different angle, right? I confirmed audibly that he was there. I confirmed visually that he was there. Now it's about making that right decision. I want to get first shots and track better. That's a fundamental to every single 1v1. So I just shoulder, hit a different angle, bang. This guy's looking the wrong way now. He hasn't hit any shots on me because I shouldered, and now I'm going to get first shots and track better. Next piece of visual information. He runs away from us. Turns his back and runs. That gives me an opportunity to take some sort of power position or do something, right? I see a loadout box down here. I hear the guy slide back, and so I'm like, all right, I'm going to come back. I'm going to point out, you're going to hear vault. You're going to hear a vault animation. The vaulting sound in Warzone is very subtle, but it's also very distinct. If you can start to learn this vault sound, it'll help you. And it is entirely the reason that I make this decision that I'm about to make. And so I'm going to shut up. I want you to listen for the vault animation. Right there. He vaults. And so what is he doing when he's vaulting? Right? We know he was up on that concrete pillar, up like on the left, right? He's up on this concrete pillar. He's up here. We hear a vault animation. What is the only thing he can be vaulting? He's vaulting down, right? And so when he's vaulting down, that puts him in a vulnerable spot that gives me an opportunity to get first shots, right? And so that's exactly what I do. The second I hear that vault, I jump out. Get first shots. Track better. So a lot of examples here of using audio and visual to get first shots and track better. Grab a bounty just because I like to have contracts up. Scan the area a little bit. Wanted to see, that guy was a little bit of a sweatier player. If he was going to land on me, if you guys don't know in Resurgence, you can see when someone lands on you after you kill them. I wanted to kill that guy and get him out. Next thing I want to point out, a lot of people don't check their minimap. When you hear unsuppressed shots, every single time you hear unsuppressed shots, you need to be checking your minimap because that's just free information. Now I know there's two dudes at bio fighting. If you guys are enjoying this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I know I haven't been posting. If you've been wondering why I haven't been posting, watch my most recent video where it's just my face as the thumbnail. Okay. I'm going to back up because I was yapping. There's a very, very distinct audio cue here. I want you to listen for it. That audio cue is a right to left slide on concrete. You don't even need to know that it's right to left, but it's a slide on concrete. So what does that tell us? Where is there concrete? The only two places there can be concrete are right here on the road and on the left side of bio, right? Because the inside of bio is metal footsteps. The left side of bio on the back side or in the road. That's the only two places. Just based on a concrete slide, I know that this guy is somewhere to my left over here. Now, I don't actually end up getting into a gunfight with this guy because we'll hear other footsteps here in a second, but just want to point that out. I know purely based off of that guy is on concrete sliding from right to left. I check over there. He's not there. I also hear a guy on the roof. What is that? What does that sound? That sound is a slide on the right side of this building towards me. Played that a little bit more aggressive than is probably like technically correct, right? Because like that guy could have known I was there, but I was like, there's no way this guy knows I'm here. So I just played aggressive. Pop a cluster. The reason I popped that cluster is because I didn't know if the guys from bio were pushing over to me. Not only did I want to stop them, but I wanted to cover up my own audio. The problem with me doing that is it does give away my position, so something I'm thinking about. My bounty is showing someone over here, and we hear very subtle grass footsteps. So I'm going to back it up. My bounty tells me that the guy is over by courtyard. We're going to hear grass footsteps. I actually see him right here as well. You can hear very subtle grass footsteps. that kill. As soon as I get out of that, I look up at my minimap, free information. Whenever you complete a bounty, it gives you, you know, basically a little mini UAV, a little radar pulse. So that information tells me that there's a guy on water tower, a guy on prison, and then 2 guys courtyard. This guy's definitely flying. The guy on the right's definitely flying because there's nowhere on my level that he can be over this direction that's above me, right? So free information right there.
All bounty targets destroyed.
I started to hear a gunfight up here. I see now that they're on my level because the red dots don't have arrows. That means they're on my level. If I want to get these kills, I need to move fast. Right? We have the information. I pull my knife out, get aggressive. They're getting out of a gunfight. Put myself in a good position. I see gunshots right here, and I thought I heard audio cues over here, and I see gunshots over here. I now realize that they were both on top of each other, but the reason I hesitate here is because I thought there was one to my left. So I was trying to catch him. I hear more footsteps to the right, and then we also hear a guy self-resing. We hear that little, like, syringe sound of the guy self-resing, right? So I know one guy's down. That means they just got out of a gunfight, and one of them is probably weak, and one of them is knocked. So I play aggressive on this. Just like I said, he was plating, so now we have first shots. I get a little bit of awkward. I was trying to get into this area, and I actually end up getting stuck and then falling backwards. Makes it awkward, but clean up that kill. The guy self-reses and runs out. I don't really want to take this fight or chase it because if I chase this, not only am I really weak, there's a guy in water tower, there's a guy on top prison. If I chase this with as weak as I am, I'm probably going to die, right? And so I'll try to pick up this kill if I can, but I'm more trying to stay alive here. Make sure he doesn't reach out, start plating. What was that sound? That sound was a door opening. Now, this is where, like, a prime example of, like, I don't hear things perfectly all the time. Spoiler alert, that door opening, that door slam was here. I thought it was down here, okay? And so that's why I jumped down here. I was like, oh, there's a guy down here. Then I hear the door slam again. He slammed in the door, and now he's slamming out of the door and running this way. The point is I heard that door slam animation, played really aggressive. If we look up at the minimap, I got shot from way up there. I'm pretty safe right here. Even though I'm knocked, I'm pretty safe right here. And so right away, I just start to self-res. Listen. Did you hear those audio cues? I heard metal above me somewhere. I'm going to back it up if I can. I heard metal above me somewhere. And so what is worst case scenario for me, right? This guy that's above me, we know there's a guy above me now, just heard gunshots over here. He just saw a guy shoot a sniper on the minimap over here. He's going to come try and third party, right? Just like I did at Courtyard. He heard gunshots. He's trying to get good timing. He's trying to third party. So right away, when I pop my self-res here, I get underneath the bridge and I get inside this door. You guys are going to see me use doors a lot. I get inside the door, start plating, shut the door, and I play the doorway. You guys are, like, anytime that I'm in a vulnerable situation and I'm near a door, I play the door. Because doors are one of the only pieces of movable cover in Warzone. Using doors is a skill. It is a meta. And so I know that as soon as this guy runs in, I'm going to run out. Because I need to create enough time and enough space for me to get my plates on and get my gun out. So he runs through. The second he does, I run out. I try to chow left, anticipating him to run back out the door. I thought he knew what was going on here, but I must have thrown him off so much because, like, look, he's looking the wrong way here. Usually when I do something like that, they'll chase. And when they chase, that's an opportunity for me to break their camera again. And so I immediately slide across the doorway, anticipating him coming out with my gun. But he doesn't. So it gets a little awkward here. Now he should know where I'm at. And so I do the exact same thing again. Right? Prime example. I get first shots. I've already broken his plates before he's even done anything to me. First shots track better. Wasn't sure if there was somebody else here. I thought I was hearing audio cues. So I throw those down to try and cover myself up, reload, plate. Okay. So now we got 20 grand. We got 20 grand. What are we going to do with it? We want to get more information, right? Every single one of these gunfights so far has been me fighting with information. Either me hearing them or me seeing them, right? There's only 1 to 3 that I don't hear them or see them, and they shoot me first. So now we're going to move on to visual information. I have 20 grand. Let's spend it, get a UAV. Do I want to pop the UAV right now? I mean, you can already see that I am popping the UAV. I have 20 grand. If I only had enough money for one UAV here, I wouldn't pop it because I've already cleared out most of this area. But because of how fast I move and how much money I have, I know that I can pop one, hold one. I've already cleared out most of this area. If you only have 6 grand, go somewhere else with the UAV. Right? Because the UAV only lasts for so long. I've already cleared out, you know, here, here, and here, right? I've already cleared out these little pockets of this area. So if I pop the UAV here, I am still going to have to travel pretty far to use the UAV, which is like, if I only had 6 grand, I'd rather go to an area where I haven't been, then pop the UAV. But because I have enough money, it doesn't matter. I even buy a loadout here. I'm hearing audio cues. I'm going to back up just a second here. So both visually and audibly, I figure out exactly where this guy is, right? I know that there's a player above me. I don't know if he's flying in or if he's on the roof. The way I figure out for sure where he's at is with the audio cues that you're about to hear. Very distinct rooftop sound of footsteps coming towards me. Listen. Hear a slide. And so I just play aggressive here as I'm coming up. My eyes are on this. Now I know for sure he's on my level. I center my crosshair where I'm most likely to see the guy. Get first shots, track better. I threw that extra loadout down. I threw an extra loadout down even though I already have my loadout and there's a free loadout coming, is because I like to play aggressive. If I have enough cash and resurgence, I'm going to throw an extra loadout down in case I die. So now we're looking at visual information. Visual information, we got a group of people here. We got some people chem, some people harbor. We got one over here and one over here. I don't actually remember what I do. If I'm remembering correctly, I go prison. I definitely don't go chem because chem, like even though there's 2 players at chem, it's a little bit hard to get to them and it takes a while. And so if you're trying to improve, you're trying to get more kills, when you have your UAV up, you want to try and remember everything, right? That's just pieces of information. I'm going to remember most of this. Like, I'm not going to remember exact positions, but I'm going to remember, hey, there was a guy over here. There's a couple guys over here. If you're trying to increase your kill count, you really want to put yourself in a position where there are the most amount of people, where you're picking up the most amount of kills. So for me, that's going to prison. But I am just soaking up that information, remembering some of that stuff for later. I thought about going chem because I saw one guy on the roof going this way. I see him jump right here. That guy definitely saw me, right? Like, he's seeing the red smoke. He just saw me right there. So now I know this guy's aware that where I'm at. I put myself where I think he's going to go. But then I hear footsteps, like, kind of underneath me. And visually, it's going to tell me that he's running through the tunnel. Yep, so I hear concrete footsteps underneath me. And then I see the red dot underneath me on the grass. That means for sure he's on the tunnel, because he's not underneath me on the grass. He's in the tunnel down low. And so I'm thinking the red dot just updated from like right here where he saw me to now under here, and I'm hearing running footsteps. And so what that tells me is this guy's running through the tunnel and trying to take stairs over here. So I try to play really aggressive on this. We are going to go to prison here in a second. Cut this guy off. This honestly was probably too aggressive of me. A smart player would have been sitting here probably pre-aiming me, but I was anticipating this guy running down or running back. I wasn't really anticipating him sitting here. But based on audio information, visual information, I pick up a free kill. Now, that guy was aiming this way. In the moment, I was like, oh, there's another guy here. There was a guy chasing him. But now that I'm looking back at it, he probably thought I was going to jump down over there and chase him that way. But instead, I cut him off. So, all right, let's go to prison. Pick up my 8 attachment AR. We have free drop now. As I was running over here, I saw a guy. Don't actually end up picking up anything here, so we just go prison. Based off of that information from earlier, I put myself in an area where there are people, but it's been a while since I had the information, so I use my UAV to get more visual information. If we look up at the map, what would you be doing here? What would you be thinking here? If we're trying to get aggressive, we're trying to get kills. Usually, I try to go zipline, but there's a sniper sitting right at the top of the zipline, and so immediately I'm like, no, I'm not doing that, right? Like, I don't want to just give this guy a free kill, but there are 2 guys over on the other side of prison. So pull out my knife. We head that way. One of those guys is on my level, right? We can see that this guy is up above us somewhere because the little red dot arrow, but this guy is on our level. Visual information. Changes to below me when I go up the stairs. Do I want to take this gunfight? What percentage gunfight is this, right? Like most gunfights start out as a 50-50. What kind of gunfight is this if you had to give it a number? I would say that this gunfight is probably a 70-30 in his favor. So he's got a 70% chance of winning this gunfight because he has this nasty head glitch and I can only see above him, right? If I hit every single one of my, if I get first shots and hit every single one of my shots, I can win this fight. But that's a very low percentage thing because he's already staring at me. He already heard me jumping down. And so right away, I bail out of the fight. Reset. Now I know where he's at. Very distinct. We hear the vault animation and him reloading. And so I know that he's, because I hear the vault animation, I know that he's going through a window. But when I hear the reload animation, it tells me that he's in this window. Okay. Get myself first shots. Most people would bail out of one of these windows. And so I play this really fast. And he actually gets first shots on me again. But I thought he was going to run out the window. Either way, because I got those first shots and he wasn't able to plate, I was able to win that fight. Now we hear footsteps above us. Wasn't sure if that guy was going to jump down, and so I kind of back off and just sit here and pause for a second. By the way, if you guys are in the market for a controller, go to berger.town/controller. Check out my scuff controller. Use code Berger. All right, so I'm going to back up. Why did I come up here? Right. We popped that UAV earlier. We're also looking up at our minimap right now. We're also looking at a minimap right now. We got one guy above us, one guy above us. Really, the only places they can be are on the roof. Yes, they could be on the 3rd floor up here, but more likely than not, they're on the roof. So I'm moving on to my next gunfight. As I'm coming through this, I don't know for sure. So I center my crosshair for where I'm most likely to see somebody, which is this doorway. But if we look up at the minimap again, it tells us, now that we're on the 3rd floor, it tells us he's above us. The only place he can be above us is on that roof above the zip line. Trying to figure out what I want to do here. I want to cover up a little bit of my own audio, so I jump and I crouch. I throw a smoke that way to kind of distract that guy. And then we hear a gunshot here, and we see on our minimap there's a guy here and a guy here. So they're shooting at each other. I hope I didn't just mess that up. Did I forget to zoom back out? I'm sorry. We got one guy sniping to our right, one guy behind us. Center my crosshair, I'm most likely to see that guy. We just heard footsteps and then a slide. I heard footsteps and then a slide. Vault. Kill him. Now, he was in the middle of a gunfight, right? We have that visual information. He was sniping at somebody. He was in a gunfight with somebody. We look at a minimap. We saw this guy. The whole time we've been pushing over here, we have seen this guy on the roof. He's been sniping over there for the last 3-5 minutes, right? So the second I get up here, where do I center my crosshair? Center my crosshair where I am most likely to see this guy. Yep. So he's right there. Hit some good shots. He's really weak, but he does a good job playing behind his cover. Honestly, from that guy's perspective, he should have jumped down. Stood there too long. Now, just have to point this out because there are so many, like I promise you, there are so many people that don't know this. Whenever you kill somebody and they're landing back in or resurging, you can see on your minimap where they are. It'll flash, right? And so I know that this red Riding Hood skin that I just killed before this guy is flying down. Try to get some easy shots on him. He's in the tree, can't see, so I just bail. As I turn around, I hear somebody's landing on top of me. The announcer tells me, says enemy landing into the AO. I also hear the parachute, and then I see the red smoke. So audio, visual, know exactly where this guy is. He's below me. Try to jump down and play aggressive. But I hear him, if we look up at the minimap, I hear him going this way. And so rather than jumping down and chasing this guy and giving up my high ground, I'm anticipating that he's going to hit zipline. He doesn't actually end up doing that. He doesn't actually end up hitting the zipline, but that's what I thought he was going to do.
Gas is inbound.
Okay, so from here, we're in a little bit of a dead spot of the game. We're a little bit dead spot of the game. I don't have any UAV. I don't have any information. So now I just go into information collection mode, right? I'm just listening, hearing. I want you to listen. What does that sound? That's somebody landing or jumping. Like that is somebody landing from a high place or jumping down from a high place onto concrete. And so I know that there's somebody down in the courtyard because that's the only place from here that there can be concrete. Hear more concrete footsteps underneath me. Visually confirmed. So we use the audio to get ourselves in the area, and then we see him visually. So now I know exactly where this guy is. I'm going to play aggressive. Very subtle. I hear him vault. I'm going to try and back it up. You're probably not going to hear this one. Very subtle. Just based on where I know this guy is, and then the little tiny piece of audio information that I get, I know that this guy vaulted into underneath prison. Right? He slides, he turns left, and then I hear a little bit of a vault animation. And so now I know that this guy's on the first floor of prison inside of this like little alleyway that leads out, right? Do I want to chase this guy or do I want to cut him off? He stops, hears me jump down, I just cut him off. Right? He vaulted into that room over there, ran this way, stood there, then he hears me jump and runs away. So just by using the audio and the visual, I'm able to cut this guy off. I know that that's like, for some people, that might be really hard to believe that I heard that and understood that. But once you get enough reps playing the game, once you understand audio cues, how players play, and you can see in the map what is happening, like you can see in your mind what the actual map looks like, stuff like this is really simple.
I'm reloading.
I don't expect all of you to understand that, to do that, to get to that point. But what I will say is that it's very clear that, like, you can learn this. You can practice this. This is just tons of reps of learning what the audio cues sound like. That was concrete footsteps. Knowing what the map looks like. Okay, he went to the left. Then I hear a little bit of a slide and a vault animation. Where did that guy go? Into the tunnel. This stuff can be learned. As I'm pushing over here, I have a little bit of money for a UAV. That's what I'm looking to grab right now. Look up at our minimap. We see a guy to the left. Pop the UAV right away whenever I'm here because I just don't know if there's someone inside Grandma's. We got one guy to our left-ish. So he's like in the road or in the stairwell shooting. So I push over there with good centering. We hear concrete footsteps underneath us. He slides this way. Slide out with good centering, pre-fire. What is this guy likely to do, right? I only got 1 or 2 shots. He's wearing a sweaty skin. He's playing really aggressive, really fast. When you run into sweaty players like this, you need to anticipate the reach-out. I didn't get a lot of damage on this guy. He's trying to catch me in this tack sprint. This is exactly what I would do here, right? He reach-outs, and so I anticipate that reach-out. This guy even has specialist. Guy jumps down on top of me. I'm weak. So I immediately bounce the smoke off of this wall and just try to get myself back to a 50-50, right? He got first shots. This is one of the only times in this game that I'm playing reactively instead of proactively. I knew this guy was here above me based on the minimap, but he jumped down faster than I thought he would, and so now I have to react. I even grabbed the specialist on my way through here. Play my smoke, played up. Now I'm just listening. Still have my UAV, but I'm just listening. We hear concrete footsteps up the stairs, and then we hear vaulting. If you can't hear this, I don't know what to tell you. This is the most, like, listen. Concrete footsteps up the stairs, and then a vault animation. That is exactly what happens here. Play it again. Concrete footsteps up the stairs, then a vault animation. And so what that tells me is he's about to come through here. Or he's thinking about coming through here. Doesn't actually end up doing that.
Timeline expired. UAV exiting the AO.
Then I hear wooden footsteps underneath me. Wooden footsteps slowly coming underneath me means he's coming up the stairs. Or that he's in here. You know what I mean? What he probably actually ended up doing, the concrete, let me pause right here. So we heard those, we know the stairs are right here, right? What this guy probably did is concrete footsteps up here. He either vaulted onto the concrete fence out here, or he vaulted onto the little platform that's right here and came inside this room. That's probably what ended up happening. I don't know for sure, but So I used the impact grenade to get opening damage, to get first shots. We broke his plates. Now I just play aggressive.
Switching max.
We got 15 with 15 up. 15 with 15 up. Pop the UAV. Right away, I see a guy that's not on prison. He's right outside of prison, right behind me. So I need to be really careful of this. Throws grenades at me. I see him run inside of prison. Now he's on my level. So I just try to play aggressive and see if I can catch this guy out. Ends up running in there. Now from this point, the game gets a little awkward. So I'm gonna back this up. Listen to these audio cues. Listen to these audio cues. We have the visual information, right? Like, I'm gonna back it up actually and explain it a little bit better. Okay, so we just saw a red dot. This guy is on our level. We just saw he went from over here to now over here. And then as we push over to this, we hear footsteps inside the building. And so that tells me there's a guy coming from the road, getting inside of that building, and he's pushing towards us. Does he have information that we're here? I don't know. But the point is he's next to us, right? So that's the visual information I'm working with. That UAV, that mini-map ping tells me, hey, I need to turn my direction this way. Now that I've turned my direction this way, I'm going to start listening. I also get the visual information of enemy nearby because I have specialist. That guy was playing really aggressive. I knew that if I just played slow and if I didn't give up my own audio cues right there, if I didn't give up my own audio cues, I could catch that guy vaulting over. Because we also have a fire sale going on right now. That guy was playing super fast, rotating through this building, making a lot of noise. He might have either known I was there, which is unlikely because I'm not on a UAV right now, or he was trying to come over and get a UAV or buy something at the fire sale.
Shake it. Changing max.
So because there is a fire sale, I get my free self, and then I pop a UAV. We talked about the phases of Warzone. If you guys are watching my videos, early game, mid game, regain, end game. We're in a little bit of an awkward phase right now of like we're about to be in the end game, and so I already have most of my checklist items. If you guys don't know, I gotta bring this up every video. These are all the items I try to go into every single end game with: satchel plates, gas mask, self-res smokes, munitions cluster. So being in the end game phase, I pop a UAV because I have enough money to pop a UAV, and I also pick up my cluster. And so now I've hit like 99% of my end game checklist, which are the tools that I always try to go into every end game with to try and win the game. So now we're in a little bit of an awkward stage. I'm gonna back up. I want you to listen to these audio cues. I have the UAV information of somebody above me flying in, but we also hear the parachute, the cut parachute, all these audio cues you need to start learning. That's a cut. That's somebody cutting their chute. It tells me there's a guy landing over here. I thought he would be in the road, but then he just cut his chute and then pulled it again. Ends up being on this roof. A little bit of trigger discipline here. Don't really have a good... The only time I would have shot at this guy is if he ran towards me here. But all of these little like windows that I could shoot him are not enough time for me to actually kill him. You're going to see him kind of run around this roof a little bit. I was being very cautious of letting this guy know where I am because I knew that this was probably where the game was going to end. I didn't want to, like, if I'm going to shoot at this guy, I want to kill him, right? Trigger discipline. Make sure you can kill the guy when you shoot him. Wasn't enough time. He probably would have got away in all these situations. Okay, so now we're in a, like I said earlier, we're in like this awkward mid-game to end-game transitionary period. So I just want to make sure I use my UAV to figure out where players are coming from later in the game, excuse me. But I don't want to, like... I can't kill this guy, right? I don't want to rotate down here too early. I don't want to rotate over here because then I'm out of position. Like, that would just be greedy for kills. And there's nothing really else to be had over here, right? So let me zoom in. We have one guy over here, one guy over here, one below me, one in the tower. There's not really anywhere good for me to go to pick up more kills. I already have the 16 kills. I only need 4 more for a 20 bomb. So you're going to see me slow down here because I'm starting to think more about positioning than I am about getting kills. Now, I actually end up making a mistake here.
UAV is bingo fuel. Returning to base.
Again, trigger discipline. Never really had a good opportunity to shoot that guy. But now he doesn't know where I am, right? Like, if I shot that guy, not only was I not going to get the kill, but now he knows where I am. But now I don't give away my position. I make a really, really dumb play here. I thought that I would be able to catch this guy. I thought I was going to be able to catch this guy. I didn't. I make mistakes. Fuck! Excuse my language. It was not me getting killed that made me mad. It was me being, like, just knowing that I made a stupid decision that I would normally not make was what made me mad there. Excuse my language. I thought I muted that audio track. Okay, so now we're in the regain phase, right? All of this was great. I just got my end game checklist. I was doing so good. We're on a 20 bomb pace, and then I throw it with a stupid decision. It happens, right? It happens. But now we're in the regain phase. What should I be trying to do? The regain phase is all about getting back into the game as soon as possible. I could land back in here and, like, you know, crawl my way back into the game and work on my end game check. But I don't have money, right? Like, I don't have money. I might get my loadout, but now all of a sudden I'm out of plates. The fire sale's ending and I can buy 2 plates. Is that my end game checklist? No. So what I'm thinking about right now is a very, very, very aggressive regain. So I'm gonna visually try to figure out if this guy's gonna defend me landing in, then I'm not gonna go there. But if he makes a dumb decision by hopping out of the lighthouse, I want to be ready to punish it. And so I wish I had an eye tracker because you'd be able to see my eyes looking over here the whole time I'm landing in. So I float. And you're actually gonna see, it's very hard to see. It's very hard to see, but this guy jumped out of prison and started, he's right here. He's right here. Let me back it up just a second. Look at the lighthouse. Now you can see it a little bit more distinct. Oh, it just went away. Let me back it up again. I'm playing in 1440p, 240 FPS, so I can see this a lot better than you're going to see it on YouTube. But the point is like, I was aware that this is something that I wanted to do, so my eyes were glued on this. Just in case, like whether or not he went over here to loot my guns, or he stayed here, or like he ended up doing, which is going to prison. You can see the parachute right there. Right? And so that tells me this guy no longer has, like, if I land here, he doesn't have a 100% guaranteed chance of killing me. Because even if he goes to this roof, I can lay down behind the wall over here. Yes, this is stuff that I'm thinking about. Like, this was a very conscious decision. We can see him land right there. This is a very conscious decision. Now, we have that visual information that he's right here, that he's right here. I also know that from his point of view, he can see me landing in clear as day. On his mini-map, he's going to see bright pulses of me landing in on my stuff. And so as I'm doing this, I know that I need to be very safe about it. I could have died right here, but that was the risk I'm willing to take because all of my endgame checklist stuff is right here. If I would have waited and like landed on my loadout drop that was really far in the gas and then had $700 to my name, there's almost no chance that I win this game. But because I just ripped the Band-Aid off and I'm like, screw it, I'm going to try and get back to my stuff. Now I'm right back in the game, right back where we were. I fixed my mistake. So as I land in here, I lay down because that guy that was over, we know he's over on prison, right? What's he going to do? He's going to see me land over here. He might look, right? And so I need to be very conscious of that. I use this wall as piece of cover. Grab all my stuff. And the first thing I do, put on my plate and then check to see if this guy's here. Visual information, he's not here. Now, I actually missed it. The first time I snaked here, we see him right there. Right there. I actually didn't see that in real time. But the point is I got back to my stuff and I made sure this guy wasn't going to hold me. Now, this guy lands in. He's weak. I get the kill. I actually didn't realize that he was getting sniped by the guy on top prison. I didn't realize that. I thought that he was getting shot from over here, which just goes to show that, like, sometimes I don't see or hear things as well. Continue to be thinking about where I need to be worried about right now. I'm still concerned, like, hey, this guy knows I landed here. Maybe he was all the way on the backside of prison and finally just got over here. This is my biggest threat, right? Like, I know he's not Lighthouse, but this is still my biggest threat. Now we are fully in the endgame phase. That was another oopsie mistake. I made a lot of mistakes this game. I didn't mean to slide off the roof there. That was just a misinput. Now we're fully in the endgame phase. Fully in the endgame phase, right? Because if I die again, I'm fully dead. So we need to be thinking about positioning. This is where we go from I'm chasing kills to I'm playing entirely for positioning. So I'm gonna start talking about some of that stuff as well as the visual and audible information. Where is the game most likely to end? Just based on this circle, where is the game most likely to end? Game is most likely to end somewhere in the middle of this, right? And so what side of the zone do I want to be on? Do I want to be on this side of the zone or this side of the zone? I want to be on the higher ground side of the zone, right? Because if I'm up here and the zone pulls, let's say I'm boat. I'm doing a bad job of explaining this. If I'm boat and the zone pulls up here, I'm screwed, right? But if I'm up here and the zone pulls up here, now all of a sudden I'm in a good spot. If I'm here and the zone pulls down here, I'm still in a good spot because I can rotate from high ground, right? So that's kind of the thought, is like, try to give preference to being above and being in high ground, just in case the zone pulls to us later. Here's some audio cues here. Here's some footsteps. Here, a door open. A little bit of trigger discipline, right? A lot of you guys would spam shoot here, spam shoot here. This guy doesn't know I'm here until I shoot, right? If I shoot here, he's gonna know. And I'm gonna get like 2 bullets, he's gonna know. I'm gonna get 2 bullets, he's gonna know. But by waiting for here, if this guy takes his gun, like I'm actually able to get a lot of damage here. Now he's stuck in this room and I can pin him down, right? He's stuck in this room. I have the power, like, right? He has to come to me. I have him stuck in a room. This is GG here. This has to be GG here. Keep my irons there, right? Like I get in that vault animation, but I keep my gun ADS'd, right? Because I know that eventually this guy's going to try and cross because he knows he's pinned, right? He knows that he's pinned. He's going to try and cross. So I just keep shooting, get a little bit more damage, immediately flick over to here because I'm anticipating him running that way. Try to pre-fire that. Now I know that, like, because I got that hit marker, because I broke his plates, I get another hit marker that's white. I know that this guy is super weak, right? Like, his health bar is probably looking something like this. Like, just the white health bar, and it's probably 3/4 full. So now I know that I can play really aggressive. But if I let this guy get to cover or get away from me, he's going to plate up and it's going to get back to a 50-50. Now is the time that I need to pounce on this fight. So I pull out my SMG, and I just pre-fire from here. Guy ends up being a pretty decent player. He's got dark matter sliding around. All right, back to positioning. That wasn't a gunfight of like, hey, I'm trying to get more kills. That was a gunfight of like, hey, I need to kill this guy because he's gonna try and take my position. Right? He's like the only threat to me right now. Another little oopsie trying to get up to the roof ladder there. But eventually I make my way to the roof. Eventually I get back to where I was. What have we not done? This is a hard thing to set up. All I'm gonna say is we knew that this guy was over on prison earlier. We never killed him. We never saw him rotate off of prison. So in my threat analysis in my head, I'm like, okay, what is the worst case scenario right now? It's somebody coming off of prison, whether or not it's the guy that I saw earlier or someone that we don't know, someone that had ghosts, whatever it is. I just check over at prison because I know the zone's gonna squeeze some people out. Now, bang, all of a sudden, we see the guy up over here. So I get my shots. This is a really low percentage gunfight for both of us because I can barely see him, right? I also look like this for him on his end. And so this is kind of a dead gunfight. I just lay down here and listen for him to jump off. If we look up at the minimap, we know that eventually he has to jump off the roof, right? He's going to have to jump before I have to jump. And so I can use that to my advantage.
Switching max.
Notice how I'm being dead quiet here, just listening for listening for a vault animation, listening for a parachute animation, listening for footsteps. Whatever it is, I'm just trying to catch this guy making a mistake. Now I have pre-aim priority. I see him throw a smoke grenade at me. Now I know he's here. Honestly, this is a really good play out of him. He just missed his smoke. He knows... The reason he threw that smoke is because he knows that I have a better position than he does. He's going to have to rotate before I do. And he's in an awkward spot where he has to jump off of prison, right? If he was smart, he probably, before the zone was over here, he probably would have rotated downstairs and then crossed that way. But because he's rotating late, now I can catch him in a parachute. So the reason he throws the smoke at me is because he knows that if he throws a smoke on himself, it's not going to help him. I'm still going to be able to see him. But if he throws a smoke on me and it hits me, I won't be able to see anything. So really good thought out of him. But he had bad execution, right? Like this is a decent player. This is the guy that killed me from Lighthouse earlier. I know that I can just catch him out in the open if I just hold irons here. Dead. So now we're in a 1v3. Honestly, this is a mistake. I probably shouldn't have done this. I was pretty sure that there was no one in Grandma's, but you never know, right? Like, there could have been somebody that rotated from low prison that got to Grandma's. This is a mistake. I'll say it right now. I shouldn't have jumped down straight into the window. I do check it. You know, I do clear the house. All right. So zone pulls away from us. It's fine, though, right? Because, like, I still have high ground. The zone could have very easily pulled here, and I would have been in the best position to win this game. But now I just have to rotate over. It's a little bit of a dangerous thing for me to do, but I still like this position, right? Again, because me being here, if the zone pulls up here, I'm in a good spot. But if I'm down here and the zone pulls up here, I'm in a terrible spot. Right? We're in a 1v3. Now I just need to figure out where everybody's at. That's all I'm thinking about right now is collecting information. I even thought about, like, hey, I'm really close to a UAV here. I'm really close to a buy station here. If I get enough cash, I can pop a UAV, and all of a sudden I have the info.
Supply crates have been restocked.
That's why when I see the restock, I'm like, okay, let me try and hit a box real quick. See if I can get $300.
Don't let up now.
Then I hear we're in the top 3. Now I know it's a 1v2. No cash. Get pretty lucky here and see this guy on my way out of the window. Okay. So UAV gets popped. I kill this guy, and then a UAV gets popped. Let me back up, actually. A UAV gets popped, and then I kill this guy. So this could have been this guy popping the UAV, but I'm thinking that somebody down low bought a UAV and popped it. The reason that's important is because I turned this into a 1v1. If this guy bought a UAV down here, that means he's not going to be able to punish me for crossing. I need to cross this road now. That's what was going through my mind here. I'm not saying that I was right, but that was what was going through my mind. Is like, hey, this guy's down here. He can't punish me for crossing. I'm going to hit this quick jump spot, grab high ground. Immediately, I grab the best position in this zone. He pops another UAV. Immediately, I grab the next best position in this zone, right? Like, being on the roof here gives me the best odds. I'd rather be up here than be down low. I'm not saying high ground is always the best decision, but I want you to listen to these audio cues. The rest of this game, this final 1v1, is all audio. We hear a slide. We get the specialist enemy nearby thing. I hear a slide that's fairly close to me, right? Then listen to this next audio cue. If you don't know what that audio cue is, I don't know what that audio cue is, I don't know what to tell you. That guy's climbing the ladder and then stops, right? So he must have heard me or must have saw me or something. And so I was anticipating this guy being on the very bottom of the stairs, right? Because I heard him climb ladder and then stop. And so I was thinking, oh, he just jumped off the ladder. He's right down here. But what actually ended up happening was he climbed this ladder and was right here. So I even misheard the audio cue, but I knew he was on a ladder. That's the point. So he gets first shots. I'm in the middle of a grenade animation. I don't like that fight. I still have high ground. I don't need to fight this guy right now. Thought maybe he would make a wrap this way. He doesn't. Now from here, I just need to continue defending my high ground. All I'm thinking about right now is don't let this guy on the roof and figure out where the next zone is going to go. So I visually clear that he's not here anymore. He's probably either down here somewhere or inside of my building, right? What is my work? Like, based on this information, What is my worst case scenario? My worst case scenario. My worst case scenario is this guy taking my roof. How is he going to take my roof? There's only 3 ways, right? There's only realistic... There's a couple, but there's really only 3 main ways. He's going to climb this ladder, which we've already cleared. Like, he's not on this... He's not up here anymore. He could hit the zip line back here, or he could hit the door over to my right. Right? Like, it's underneath my webcam, but door to my right. So those are the only 3 things I need to worry about. This one I know he's not going to do. This one is pretty unlikely. If he's inside this building, he's most likely to think about hitting that door. Now, he doesn't end up doing that, but that's what I'm thinking. That's what's going through my head. Okay, so the zone pulls. Zone pulls right here. This is why like setting yourself up for future zones is a big deal, right? Like, because I played up here, I set myself up for the future zone to grab high ground up here. Because I decided to grab high ground up here, now I'm in a good spot to take advantage of the next zone. I know this guy's below me or out in the open somewhere, right? Now from this point, just trying to hear this guy. Use the spring mine to cut off an angle, but I'm really just trying to listen. The main reason I popped that box was because you hear that hum of the box. It wasn't to try and find a spring mine. Listen. We hear a very faint slide out on the left. It's concrete. That one's really hard to pick up, but you're going to hear the footsteps. So we hear the footsteps. I look down. I'm not going to hear concrete footsteps directly underneath me. The only place there's concrete footsteps is out in the open, right? These are things that you can practice and learn. To a lot of people, to an untrained ear or eye, some people think these things are cheats. It's really simple. Once you understand the audio cues and you start practicing and listening for them, the game becomes so much easier. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.